Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're up watching this morning. If you're watching recorded, we're still glad you're watching. Welcome to America's only daily outdoor TV show, brought to us by so many great sponsors and viewers like you. Our weather, of course, brought to us by Haney Technical Center. We're looking at a high today of only 66 and a low of 55, but tonight is going to get down, well, the water temperature is 63.7. That's really, it's really about up a degree from last week. So low, we got 55, so that's not that bad. River readings, Mountain Dew, the river readings, we're looking at the Apalachicola at Bluntstown, 16.6. We're looking at a really, you're looking on a chart there, really high river. It's staying high. We just had a lot of rain in this part of the drainage basin for the Apalachicola, as the same for Choctawhatchee at Caryville, 11.1, and again, it's had a lot of rain come into it. So we got some high river. In wintertime, it's pretty prevalent to have some high rivers and flood. I know about 4 years ago, yesterday, in fact, it was 2016, the Apalachicola down to Howard's Creek was just up in the roads and a lot of flooding. That was right at 4 years ago. I was looking at some of the records we have. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at a low tide this morning, 4:15, and a high tide at 6:12 tonight. And our marine forecast is coming out of the northwest at about 6, and then be coming straight out of north later on after lunch. And speaking of wind, I want to mention the wind we had over the weekend. We looked at it was fascinating to me. I spent most of the past week in and out around the Cape, and also on a barrier island. You're really exposed to the elements a lot more than you are inland, where you're in the woods and all and protected by a lot of trees. But I know the wind blew all over. But I was fascinated with it because, first of all, it took away my fishing opportunities. I realized that I was not going to be able to fish any, so I turned inward, and I still have some hurricane repair down there to do. I'm working on the deck and all that kind of stuff, and I enjoy doing that, but I hate working when I look over my shoulder and the water looks good. But so the water didn't look good over the weekend. But what was fascinating, I'm going to talk about this. The wind was so strong coming out of the southeast. I mean, I'm talking about 30. It was about 30 to 32 down there. I mean, it wasn't just in gusts. It just kept on. I mean, it blew my hat off like 3 different times, and while I was working on deck. So then it switched around and came out of came straight out of northwest, just the opposite direction, southeast and northwest. And it was still as strong, but it had been a long time since it's been that steady for that long. I don't know if I was just fascinated with the strength of those gusts and all at this point in time. But anyway, I just want to share that with you. That's how I felt about it. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. We're going to call up on some of my pictures. Listen, when I give that Friday fishing report, I know some of y'all pay attention. Some of y'all might be doze off or get another sip of coffee, but it's right on. And to prove it, check out this first picture. Remember, we was talking about a sheephead. Here's Bobby Wells sent us into Panama City fishing. Check out, that is a nice one, Bobby. And look at that mess of them right there. Now, is that not a nice mess of them? Man, that's some really good eating. They're a little hard to clean, but they're well worth it. So I told y'all Friday, the sheephead are biting this time of year, January and February, prime time for sheephead. All right, let's go. And I'll mention, look at Antonio Reeves sent this into Panama City fishing. Look at that. Good job, Antonio. That's some nice fresh water. That's a slab right there. Nice one. All right, Central Burkett. He killed a big hog, and he couldn't get in the truck, so I got a tractor. Another good day in God's country. And that's what you do you think about that's really smart, because I'm in the same situation. You can't get back in the woods sometimes with your truck and all, and you can't drag it out something that big. So just put it on a tractor. You can get a tractor about there. Good job, Century Burkett. Okay. How about Hannah talking about her dad? Hannah Bailey is with Andy Bailey. He's from Liberty County folks. This is definitely the best birthday present I could ask for. My sweet daddy has been hunting this acorn buck since the beginning of the season and finally killed him. Now, I don't know why it's named acorn buck, but right there it is right there, the acorn buck. So he got them. Good job, Manny Bailey. I'd like to see that. Brittany Nicole Orme with Dennis and Cecily Hale up there in Baker Hill. And that is I love that picture. I know these folks here, they're good outdoors people, and good to have those girls out there in the woods like that chasing those big bucks. Good job, Brittany Nicole. Brad sent this. Brad Stevens, and we'll get him on the show in another week or two, but basically the Coast Guard came by, dropped these off for local paddlers, and it makes sense. You put these on your kayak and they're waterproof. Of course, you want to use a waterproof marker, and a lot of times this, stuff washes up. Anything that might wash up and all, but the Coast Guard brought them by down there, sunjammers, and these decals will be. I'm gonna put one on our kayak in case, and it's sort of hard to peel off. So if something happens to them, you might can get them identified real easy. Okay. Hey, Coach, this is Bill Roxby. I got a wireless camera for Christmas. I put it out the day after Christmas. We had no idea this big buck was living 20 feet behind my house. I'm somewhere west of where you live. Here's a picture right here. A backyard buck. And that's what we talk about, these cameras now. That's exactly what we're talking about. That was the day after Christmas. And, I really don't know where Bill lives, but listen, he had a good idea. Hey, we should do a raffle winner, then I'll tell him my address. Okay? Good job there. And also, same subject, he sent this. Hey, Coach, this is the same Bill. Coach, these are pictures of blue crabs. We call it the month of November. And just a heads up to the viewers, January private crab trapping requires online testing certificate from Florida Game and Fish Commission. This is my son, Cade Roxby. This is for traps. This is from traps 2 days. Kept no females. He's good about that. And 2 days worth of trapping, and anybody can do that. 4 traps only. Look at it. That's some nice, healthy crabs right there. I think Cade's ready to get into those. But now I was not aware of this. I didn't get word from the Game and Fish Commission about having a certificate. So obviously you have to go online and take a little online test or something and have a certificate. I don't know much about it, but I call the FWC office, ask them to explain it to you. Okay? All right. All right, here we go here. Let's see. Bob Billsman takes a hunting trip every year. His last day to hunt, I scored. Last day to hunt, I scored a 60-yard shot with a crossbow. I just couldn't get the big ones to get close enough, but I'm happy with this one. And I told him, I answered him back. I said, Bob, that's a fine one right there. Here, especially, you know, 60 yards with a crossbow is a challenging shot because it's not like shooting a gun and all, and it just doesn't. That is a fine shot there, Bob Billsman. All right, from Levon's Lighting. Hey, Mr. Winston, this is Seth Prothrow. I really enjoy watching your show. I'm in Panama City Beach, and I killed this really nice buck in West Bay this evening. And I'd love to be on the show. Here's a few pictures of his deer. Now, I got this message at 11:30 Saturday night. Yeah, so Seth was really excited about it. But that's a fine picture, Seth, and that is a fine buck coming out of that West Bay area. Good picture there. And it shows you massive horns. We were talking about the size of these bucks this year. Okay? All right, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We got some more pictures, but we want to get some names in the pickle jar because the pickle jar is empty, and we're going to be drawing. We're going to be drawing this Friday. So look at here. We've already got names coming in. Y'all doing a great job. Tell us where you're from. Y'all are good about that. Show y'all viewing area how the far-reaching we are. David Burgess from Santa Rosa Beach. Marie Burgess. Donald, got a family here, and Dennis, all from Santa Rosa Beach. Teresa Brown, Santa Rosa Beach. Okay, Mike Fitzgerald, Panama City Beach. Sandra Fitzgerald, Panama City Beach. Make you always listen for your name now. Greg Frady, Alford up there. Ted Gagne, Lynn Haven, Onda Gagne. They've been watching. Y'all been watching a long time. Appreciate that. William Harris, St. Andrews, and also Carol Harris, William and Carol from St. Andrews. I fold these over. So, and Rebecca Harris, Greenhead. J.B. Hillard up there at the Funiac Springs, the Bent Rod Fishing Club. What a good group of folks up there. Ned Maxwell from Chattahoochee, the Pompano Fishing King. All right, Joanne Maxwell from Chattahoochee. Ethan Roberson, Chattahoochee. Alan McCutcheon, Springfield. Random McAreese, Panama City Beach. Candy McAreese, Panama City Beach. Betty McAreese, Panama City Beach. Terry Richards, my neighbors in Southport, Terry and Lynn, great neighbors. They got a green thumb too. Lynn Richards, Margaret Taylor, Panama City Beach. Adam Taylor, Panama City Beach. Greg Taylor, Greg's been with us a long time. Greg, my trees are doing well, thank you again. Panama City Beach. Gloria Turner, can't wait to Spanish mackerel season. Gloria's a fine fisherman lady. Panama City Beach. Darrell Weeks, Greenhead. See, I would know everybody. Mark Stafford. Mark just gets after all kind of stuff. Shirley Stafford. Nancy Jones, Indian Pass. Now that's a special place down there. Bobby Jones, okay, Indian Pass. Wanda and Graham Jones, they've watched this show for a long time. Good outdoor people, just good solid folks. Nat Harris, buddy out there at Panama City Beach. Nat and Debbie, his better half. All right, that gets us started. All right, we're going to be drawing pretty soon, so send it in. Tell us where you're from. That one fell out. Okay, there you go. All right, but anyway, we're going to be giving away stuff, and we're going to have a little, I've got some stuff I didn't get to give away at Christmas. We ran out of time. So I'm going to be giving away just spontaneously, I think, the next, next week or two. It's getting in the way. I also wanted to, okay, I got some other pictures. Let's finish other pictures. I'd like to get them finished. Fishing, one of my former students, two of my former, Lakin and Seth Summers, Sunday Fun Day. The trout fishing was good this past weekend. I know they had that for supper. Good job, my young folks there. This is out of the past. Y'all recognize Stan Crookham, that's the one on the left. But this one, Stan was working at FWC, and this is one of his classic pictures. I just ran across it. I knew y'all would appreciate it. Y'all got to call Stan up and give him a hard time because that eagle was telling him off about leaving him alone. Don't be bugging me. Okay, and I want to, this is a really good picture here. Okay, this is Alex Janos. First of all, I want to look at the back. Before you look at the deer, look at the background. Does that tell you something right there? That's at St. Vincent Island, okay? And Ella got this sandbar. It's a sandbar deer. We talk about it often. We don't show them very often because we don't see very many. This is a fairly young one. This is only 400 pounds. And they got it the weekend of the sandbar hunt. Now, he's a local boy. He actually lives on St. George Island. His granddad just dropped him and his buddy off, and they hunted it, and they know the area. His dad, George, is a manager there and runs the Blue Parrot, and the Blue Parrot Cafe out there. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but here's another picture. Here's a better picture of it right there. Okay, so we got it covered good. So anyway, we did get something from a sandbar hunt. Now, I wanted to talk about that. Before I get to that, the hunts, they only come like 3 times a year. They have a primitive and then a sandbar only, but that only comes once a year. You got to go have a drawing. But anyway, it's really neat to see one taken, and a young one like that would be good to eat. The older ones get around, we're talking about 600 pounds or so, 700 pounds. Okay, I still have, y'all see this right here? This is still my list of of my resolutions for the year 2020. And I got tickled. I get started on this in time. Run out of time, so I'm gonna get started on them, and I may or may not finish them. But and it's a conglomeration. I used to sort of separate some personal and some outdoor, Panhandle outdoors oriented. So I just sort of all mush them together. Some people say, "Oh, you shouldn't do resolutions." I don't believe. I always believe in doing resolutions. I always believe you should have goals set. You should do better every year. I don't care what age you are. And that's just the way I feel about it. So you can write them down and keep them in your head and remember them in February and March. Okay, and this is in no particular order of importance. But obviously this always jumps out at me. First 2 words, fish more. I really, again, we keep blaming everything on a hurricane, but again, it is so true. I fished 100 less this past year because of doing a lot of stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff done. I'm about 95% finished with what I need to be done, and so we're going to fish more. I also want to say fish more. I still plan. I really want to get back into floundering. I said right here last year and said the same thing and didn't get the floundering into this year, but I got set up. So I'm all set up now. I've got my light, I got everything all set up. So I really want to flounder this year. And also wrote down, Joe Eddie, you heard that, didn't you? Also want to do some really good pompano fishing. I love doing that. I just really want to. What I want to do is just do it like 3 or 4 days in a row instead of just going there one day and go and quit. I want to do it like 3 or 4 days in a row so I just get sick and tired of doing it. So I got all kind of things on that. Hunt more, and on the hunting aspect, I'm at a point now where I want to start getting my food plots and all ready, where I can do it myself. I've depended on other people to do it, and people have been really good about helping and all, but people are just so busy and all, so I'm in a situation where I can get food plots and feed them. I want to start feeding them more year round and with natural food, and get to a plant management where my trees and all, putting acorns out, and just want to, the ones that are still standing. So I want to hunt more. I'm not just talking about getting a stand and pulling a trigger. I'm talking about the whole aspect of hunting, taking care of nature, getting a lot of natural food all throughout out there, and I enjoy doing that. I just really do. So anyway, let's take a break now. I'll be right back. Okay, let me finish up on this. All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at our Fishing Game Time, brought to us by the fine folks at Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 8:58 to 10:58 this morning. Tonight, 9:25 to 11:25. Now, I'm going to show you something this is just downright fascinating to me. My good buddy Lester Anderson sent this to me, and Lester is a good outdoorsman, originally from Mobile, Alabama, a great outdoorsman. I've never seen this. I was so fascinated when he sent it to me. I'm going to play it off my phone. I'm going to explain it to you as it's going on. Now, Lester, he and his son Heath are on a lease up here in the West Bay area, so I'm going to hit this play. Now, what happened? Now, this is his corn. Like all of us have the corn out in the feeders. Okay, so you got apple corn. All of a sudden, the bees find it's apple corn. So they find the sugar in the apple corn. So they start feeding off this, and they get up there, and remember that little turret we all have that spins around? Well, the bees started spinning. The bees, they start spinning around. I mean, there's thousands of bees. I've never seen this before. So they get on this and they spin. They actually end up spinning. They end up spinning it. So what they're doing, they're starving anyway. We checked with the bee experts, and look at all the corn. Look at all the bees on it. Okay, they're getting that sugar from the apple corn. All right, and they're swarming in there. As they get them off the ground and then go up into the feeder, and that little aluminum lightweight spinning blade goes round and round where the corn starts coming out. And they can't, the bees are smart enough to figure the more they move it around, the more corn is coming out. This is, okay, so here he ended up, okay. So what happened, he sent word to me, okay. All right, here's a picture. 90 pounds of corn on the ground in 2 days. He replaced with regular corn. We'll see what happens. So you see, that is nature just taking care of. I wrote amazing. It really, thank you, Lester, for sharing that with us and our viewers, because who knew that the bees would be getting in the corn feeder and taking all the corn out? But I don't know if any of y'all had any experiences with that, but it was really fascinating to me. Okay, let's move on. I don't know if I'm gonna finish my resolution. I do want to get back to, because we did have one of the things I want to recommend. If you get a chance to, if you're down in the St. George Island area or Franklin County or Cape and all, and get a chance to go some fine eating, I want to recommend a Blue Parrot restaurant right there at the end. But I'm gonna tie it in with our picture here. This is Alex Jonas, and his dad is George, and they run the Blue Parrot, okay? George and his partner. And here's a bridge. Let me show you where it's at. Okay, here's a bridge coming into St. George Island, okay? See that little dot right there in the middle of the screen? That's where the Blue Parrot is. And that's a special place. The food is just outstanding. And George, here's the history behind it, and what happened, he and his buddy, Steve Rash, they were good friends at Leon High School in Tallahassee growing up. And long story short, Steve has the seafood market there in Apalachicola, Water Street Seafood. And the opportunity came up to get this restaurant, and he got the chef from the Gibson Inn, got him to come in and help him start it. And then the chef and his wife retired, so then here comes George, and they put together this Blue Parrot restaurant. It's just wonderful food, wonderful atmosphere. And I normally don't, just off the cuff, just recommend places, but it's so relaxing. Go there, and I always get the fish tacos. They have all kind of cool food and all. I get all kind of stuff. They have a live camera, and here's a picture of what I eat right here: fish tacos and coleslaw. Don't that look good for breakfast? But what's fascinating to me is the history behind it, and then they work hard. But they have a little bit of time off in January and February. George does a lot of fishing. He wants me to go out there with him. He's got a spot 42 miles offshore, but his boat's on 25 feet, so that's a long way to go in 25 foot. I think he might be out there today. And they do some serious fishing. But, if you get a chance, sometime in wintertime, you get maybe the wintertime blues, you want to just travel somewhere, head down to St. Joe, stop off at Blue Water, run on down into Apalachicola, across the bridge to St. George Island, get you a good meal, come out into Apalachicola. Now, Apalachicola is a cool town. Gail and I stopped at a little bookstore there with Dale. That's the coolest bookstore in America to me. It's just really some neat stuff. It's not much bigger than your kitchen and all, but what a fine place to get some really good reading. And then Apalachicola they got a fly fishing shop in there. They got charter places where you can charter a trip, all kind of clothing for the ladies and jewelry, and just really good eating places. And it's just spend a Saturday doing that. If you get bored, don't have to, the weather's bad, you can't go fishing or hunting, just go down there and do something like that. So Gail and I enjoy doing that. It sort of gets away, and it's just a really special place. That's the Blue Parrot. George, thank you for what you do in providing fresh, local seafood. I got to wrap it up. Guess what? I did not finish my resolutions. By the end of the year, maybe I'll get them to y'all, but I will share some of yours if you have them. We'd like to put them on. Tomorrow got a guest coming on, and all kind of good things happening this week. And don't forget to send your name for the Pickle Jar drawing, okay? You do something good today for your fellow man. Enjoy our great outdoors. Get some good fresh seafood somewhere. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.